Okay, I'm going to do a painting now. I'm going to do this part of the building. I'm going to make sure I got the chimney and that right side of the building, which I think is a very interesting shape right there. So that's going to be my painting representative right there. That's my reference photo right there of what I'm going to paint. And I've got set up here. I've got my visual journal all set up, and got my palette, my spray bottle, brushes, and just a little cup of water there just to do. I use that to rinse out the brush. But the spray bottle with the paint is all I need to do. All I need to do with the paint. Okay, that's it. That's my travel set, Everett Watercolors travel set, and that's my visual journal, which I use. This is very simple. Okay, I'm going to start out with a simple drawing and then go from there. Okay, I'm going to start out with a simple wash here. I think the background is very simple. What I'll do is get just a light wash going here. My palette. All I have is red, yellow, and blue, and a little bit of burnt sienna, and a little Payne's gray. So I'm going to mix up a little bit of green. Here I'm using a quill brush. This one I brought this along here to fill in the large areas. So this natural quill is a good brush. I got these on my website also. So I'm going to mix up a little bit of green, a little bit of ultramarine blue, and yellow lemon. That's all I need. Just a light wash back here, and I'm going to put that behind the building. We'll start out with the background. Put in that just a light green. That'll be the trees in the background. Just to have just get started here with a nice background. And come around this shape here. There's a little chimney stack here on the side of the building. Just a little light green here, just to indicate the background trees. And I may darken up just what I'll do. I'll put a little more blue in there. Mix up a little darker mix. Kind of go in there and just indicate this is going to dry anyway, but I'm going to get some little shape back in there that there's some trees. Just kind of rough that in a little bit. Now there's some back here also, so I'm going to go ahead and mix up some more of that green with the blue and yellow. And get the background over here on the left side. And I'm going up on a rooftop, just the edge of the roof. Now I've got this, of course I got my pad, my visual journal at an angle, so the paint's going to run down if it's loose like it is right now. And that's okay. But that's one of the things when you practice painting and put it on an easel like this, you got to get used to the flow of the water. And I always have some paper towels around to clean up a little bit of the extra moisture. That paint's flowing down, so I don't want it to pool too much. Fill in some of the areas here. Okay, so I got a nice background started here, and I'll put a little more dark over here. Gives me a little texture in the background. And I'll let that dry. It just dries by itself out here sitting in the outdoors doing a plein air painting. And add in some more. Again, just put some marks out there, give me a little rough texture, showing the background trees. That's all I need to do. Let me go up here and get around this chimney up here. This is the main. The chimney is going to be my main interest point. I like that chimney, the shape of it and so forth. Okay. Covering up some of the white spots in between loops there. I'll let that dry. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to mix up some red now for that chimney. And the Pyro red by itself is very bright, so I'm going to tone that down a little bit. So I need quite a bit, so I'll mix up a nice big mix of red, Pyro red, right here in the middle of my palette. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a little bit of Payne's Gray, just a little bit, and that'll dull that down just enough to give me a nice reddish dark, not too bright. And I'll test it out over here, and I'll just be a little bit darker than that, so I'll put a little more red in it there. That's about it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put the chimney in. And I'm not interested in matching the colors exactly today, because I could put a little bit of burnt sienna into that, give it a little more reddish brown. But I'm not going to actually match the colors exactly today. I'm just going to get the shapes down. So that's the shape of the chimney portion front. And you'll notice I'm only painting part of the building. It's an okay. I like to paint part. I don't like to have, you don't want to have a whole building. You just get the most interesting parts, interesting shapes. Okay. Yeah. So I'm using this big quill brush right now just to get the color in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lighten that up just a little bit. So I may put a little more water into that mix right there, just a little more water. And I want this edge over here. This is the lighter side, so I want that to be a little lighter. I want that to be a little bit lighter than the side's a little bit darker, because the light's coming this way from left to right. And it's not very evident in the scene today, but I know the sun's to my left side. So the left edge of the building and the left edge of the chimney will be lighter. I know that. And as I move back, now the next big chimney is one area, and I'm not finished with that. Just to get started, I'm blocking it in. I got rooftops here, and it's a gray, it's a light gray. So I'm going to mix up a gray. So I'm going to use ultramarine blue and a mixture with burnt sienna. Rather than using a Payne's Gray, I like to do a little mixture here. And gives me a nice light gray with burnt sienna and ultramarine blue. I'm making a bigger mix here, so I have enough to cover the rooftop. Let's see. Now I'm looking at the scene and matching the gray as close as I can. Might put a little bit of Payne's Gray in there, just to dull it down. Okay, now I've got a little gray. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Okay, that matches pretty good. Okay, and remember, watercolor is going to dry a little bit lighter, so you want to start out with a little bit darker mix than you think, because it's going to dry. It dries about 30% low, less intensity when it dries. It always looks a lot darker when you put it down. And that's the one thing you have to get used to in watercolor, is the values. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put the block in the area, and I'll go back in and clean up the edges here once I get the major sections blocked in. And give it a chance to dry just a little bit. Okay. Now what I'm going to do now, I got a little drip here on the end. That's the edge of the roof. That might work just the way it is. So I may not change it. Just let it dry that way, because the edge of the roof's got like a little shadow. So I'll take advantage of that. I'll just go ahead and leave that alone. I'll go ahead and I'll fill in some of the here. I want to bring this over. the roof edges. If I can get the brush in there, I might have to use another brush to get in there. And what I'll do is use my number 6 round, mixing up a little more of that gray. Adding more water to that mix. Now I'm going here. Now I got this section here is part of the rooftop, so I'm going in with a smaller brush to fill that in. That's the edge of the structure. Let's see, I missed a little bit of green there. I might have to go back in and put a little more green on that section. That's okay. Hey, that's what plein air is all about. It's observing and capturing the shape, and also studying the colors you're using. Now, not trying to exactly copy the colors I see. I'm coming up with colors I like that would match the scene. Here I'm just kind of filling in my little grooves here. It helps a little continuity here to my I like this visual journal. I can open it up this side, open it this way, and I get 8.5 by 11. 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper right here. This is 11 inches across and 8.5 inches high, so it's about almost a quarter, just about a quarter sheet of paper, just like regular watercolor paper. And okay, all right, that covers that in. And got just a little bit of roof. I'm going to use my smaller brush now. There's a little bit of rooftop over here. I'll put that in. Now I'm being careful not to go into that green yet because I don't want to mix too much. Just to block that in. I know I got to put a little bit of gray up here on the rooftop right there. So I'm just indicating where, and there's a little part of the I'm just showing the corner of where the little porch hits the edge of the corner to indicate that. And that's just a little reference point. That's all it is. A little reference point showing there's a little porch out there on the front, on the corner. Pop. And okay, so that's about where I want to go. So I want to go back with another brush and clean up the edges. But and I'm going to leave the building white. I'm not going to worry too much about the building, which is a large portion. But by leaving it white, I don't have to put too much detail there. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry just for a few minutes. So let me show you the block in. I've got the block in here with that, and then I'll take you up to the building, and that's basically what I've captured so far. I got the chimney and the rooftops. The chimney, the rooftops down to that about right there, but just about the part I have right there. Okay, and I've got that blocked in. Dry it a little bit. That's close enough. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use the 1/2-inch flat brush, travel brush with my my travel set, and I'm going to go in and clean up some of these edges. So I'll start with the chimney. That's one my what I did, I mixed a little bit of burnt sienna in with that red. And I'm going to go in here now. I'm going to go in and clean up the edges. With a flat brush. And I'm getting the shadow side, or the darker side of this chimney first. And I'm cleaning up the edges so it looks more like the chimney that I see in front of me. Okay. This little flat brush, little 1/2-inch flat brush, does a good job. I blocked it in with that larger brush, but now I'm going in and clean up the edges. Hey, for a sketch that works out right now. The light side, I add a little water to the mix, and go in and get the lighter side, the lighter red. Clean up the edge on that side. This is the side that the light is hitting a little more, so it's a little bit lighter, this edge. It also gives dimension with the light and the dark. Just clean up the edge. Eliminating some of the white paper that's showing. Okay, that's the lighter side. Now I think I'll go ahead and work on the rooftops a little bit. I got that gray mixture, and I'll go ahead and tighten up the edge. So you start with a loose wash or a loose base coat, and you go in with another brush and put the final touches to it, and that's what I'm doing now with this round brush, with this flat brush. There's another small chimney over here on this other section, which I thought was interesting. I got, that gives me a repeat. I got a chimney and a chimney, so that kind of something I always look forward to is getting a little echo, or it's like drawing anything. If you get an echo somewhere, it makes your painting more interesting, and echoing the chimney. The chimney is my main point of interest today, the chimney. So I got 2 chimneys in this particular painting. So I get a little more benefit. Now I'm going to clean this edge up here. This is the edge of the rooftop over here. Clean up nice and straight. At the edge of the roof over here, it comes to a point. Okay, that's good. Okay, then these rooftops over here, I'm going to put a little more on. I'm going to clean this up a little bit over here. These are just really, these are not important sections, but just to finish it off. That comes right up to the edge of the chimney, and this is the rooftop over here, so I'll make that just a little bit cleaner with the flat brush. The edge of the roof edge, the eave there. You don't see much of that roof from this perspective, and this little corner of the porch here shows. Comes to the corner of the building. There. Okay. Now I can put a little bit of brick out here on this other chimney. So I'll go ahead and mix up a little bit of red. Now they're dull. They're not. This is, again, I'm further away from the interest is here. This is going to be a repeat, but I don't want it to be as bright as this one out here. So I'm going to dull it down. I'll put a little more Payne's Gray in there. I want to show red, but I don't want it to be as bright as this one up here. So I'm going to put a little bit of red in here. It's going to be a dull red. Using the corner of the brush, edge of the brush. Using those sharp edges. Not too much detail back there. And what I do, that might be a little bit dark, so what I do when I put a dark mix down like that, I'll take a paper towel, and while it's still wet, I'll kind of just hit it, blot it a little bit. It also gives me a little texture, okay? But that's much duller than the one out here, and that's all I want to see. That's all I want to see. And there's a little black top on this one. And what I'll do, I'll change brushes. I think I'll change brushes. I got to change brushes anyway for the windows. So a little bit of Payne's Gray down here. I'll put that in here. I'm using the number 6 round. There's a little black top on this. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, now I'm going to finish off with the windows, and all I'm going to do here, I'm going to use a little bit of Payne's Gray down here. Payne's Gray. And all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and indicate the window panes. That's all I'm going to do. Just indicate the window panes. And I'm not going to do all the ones they show. So I'm just going to indicate a few, just to indicate there's a window here. And put just a symbol or a mark that shows that, hey, that's a window. And there's lots of panes on. There's more panes than, but I'm only going to paint just a few, just to indicate that's the kind of window it is. Okay, it's a window with lots of panes. I'll do the same thing down here. I'll simplify these a little bit also. Showing that there's also windows with little panes in them. Just to document and to capture the feeling of that particular scene. Okay, now while that's drying a little bit, I might do just a little more touch up here. I'm going to just go back on the edge of the greens here around the building. So I mixed up a little bit of green, it doesn't have to be all green, it's also got red in it. It's just a mixture. I don't want it brown. So clear up that blue, clear up that, there we go, okay. That blue in there, get some green. Okay, now I'm going to go in here behind this building, just kind of put in some texture. Around the edge of the chimney here. Because that green was too light, so I want to kind of dull that down. Kind of put that in the background. That's not as important as the rest of the painting. And I'm going to just do some brush strokes here, just to give it a rough look of trees or bushes, background trees. Okay, don't worry about the sky today. But I wanted to dull that down and to darken it up just a little bit behind the building, so it goes away. Gotta mix up some more. That's one thing you have to do. You have to make sure, try to make sure that you mix enough mixture the first time, so you don't have to go back in too many times to complete the painting. I'm going to put around the edge of here a little bit more. kind of finish off this edge here. Come up over the top. Again, I'm going to dull this down behind. This is too bright. I'm going to dull this down behind the chimney. And also get another contrast here. I've got not only just dark against light, but I've got green against red, which is a complementary color. The green trees against the red chimney gives me another contrast. Contrasting colors, complementary colors, which also helps interest in the painting. A little bit of contrast up here, especially around this section where the red is red and the green is green. Over here, dull it down just a little bit more with that duller green. These are background trees behind the building. Helps define the edge of the building, also the edge of the chimney. There, I like that. Okay, now the only part I have left now is now not a shadow pattern, but I've got to break up this building so it gives you show the edges. So what I'm going to do is mix up a very light gray. I'm going to do mainly Payne's gray. I'm just going to take Payne's gray and put a lot of water in it. Now I'm going to go ahead. Now the front side of the building is white with the sun coming in, so I'm going to put just a little shadow here on this edge. And I'm going to try to leave the window trim a little bit brighter, just to show those off. So now I'm coming around the corners now. Very light, a very light mixture of Payne's gray, and there's other colors in there also, because I've also got the blue in there and a little bit of brown, and kind of a mixture of everything. Kind of, I call it a palette color because it's whatever colors I have in a palette. Okay, now I'm coming down here and going to clean out some of those whites now. This is very bright white, which is going to take away from the shadow part that I want to show here, and that is a lot better. So here's the corner of the building, and this is in shadow, and this is in shadow behind here. So the white paper is too bright for this particular scene. I'm not looking at the sun on this section. This section is in shadow. Okay, and this side back here is in shadow. So this is really just the final stage here now, just to kind of add a little more value here, or a little more believability here that this is the shadow side. The sun's coming from that end and this way, and there really isn't a shadow pattern. Well, there is a shadow pattern now, but I'm not going to capture that today. I just want to get the shapes and the colors, and the feeling I have here of this part. This is a brand new building outside. This is still the old farmhouse, but they've remodeled the outside here, put a new siding on it, and added a porch, which is very attractive, I think. Wow. Okay, I like that. Okay, I'm not going to do anything more. That's my demonstration today of a plein air of the old farmhouse with a new outground. So let's take a picture of that building. You can see the sun's coming out a little bit more now, a little brighter. But that's the building. That's the side of the building I was getting right there. I wanted to get that. I wanted to get that beautiful old chimney, old farmhouse chimney, and then come down to what I painted. Kind of an abstract, but I captured that chimney, and I got the shadow side or the windows. So I'm happy with that. Okay.